Hi guys, Gilliam Elliott here. I want to come to you guys today with another educational video about medical tourism. Now today I want to focus on consumer conversion or patient conversion. And this was sparked today by a telephone call I had with a small business in the medical tourism industry. It was actually a startup medical tourism facilitation company. And the guy asked me, he said, "Hey Gil, what can I expect as far as patient conversion?" Now, this isn't my first time hearing this. We hear this all the time. And my natural response to him was it depends on who's talking to the patient, or what company's talking to the patient is going to depend on the patient conversion that you have. And that's always my stance. And so this video was inspired by that telephone call, and I want to go over some really key points of how you can increase your patient conversion rate. Now, when I say patient conversion rate, I simply mean out of the leads that you're receiving, how many of those leads turn into actual clients of yours or actual patients that you're helping out of the ones that you're receiving? Everybody needs to know what their conversion rate is. And if you have a low conversion rate, chances are you probably need to tweak some things so you can help more people, so you can help more patients and get more patients in your door. Today, I want to focus on how you can have more meaningful conversations with these patients to have a higher conversion rate and to get more patients through your doors and using your services so you can help more people around the world through medical tourism. Because make no mistake about it, medical tourism is saving lives, medical tourism is saving people money, and medical tourism is getting people better access to care all around the globe. So that's what I think about when I talk about getting your consumer rate up, and when I talk about getting your patient conversion rate up, is helping more people, helping more families, and helping more individuals around the globe. Now, just for an example, if you are having 100 people coming to your website every day, but you're only having 1 or 2 people fill out your contact form or reaching out to you, then that means you have a very low conversion rate through your website. And we need to work on that, how we can bring that up, because that's a lot of people who are coming to your website, but they just aren't opting into your form. And there's a reason for that. And we can work with you on how to bring that up. But I do want to go ahead and get into the video today. Okay, guys, so most of these points that we're going to go over today are going to be focused on the conversation and the communication that you're going to have with the patient. As I mentioned earlier, we're trying to make sure you have more effective conversations with the patient, making sure that you address all their questions, making sure they understand what you're going to provide to them in a very clear and decisive way. So the first point that I want to get into is finding out how the patient found out about your services. In order to increase your patient conversion rate, you want to find out how these patients are hearing about you, because then you can maybe invest more money in that resource and allocate more funds to that resource so you can get more of these patients coming to your website. If they come to your website, you want to find out how they found out about your services. Was it Google? Was it Bing? Was it a friend? Some other place online? You really want to find out, because you might want to allocate more resources to get more patients coming from that specific source, or you might want to invest more of your money towards that avenue so you can get more patients coming to your website. And this gives you kind of an idea of where you need to go with your business plan throughout the year, and where you need to invest a large portion of your money or some of your money at bare minimum. So that's the first one. Find out how they found out about your services. So the next one is when communicating with the patient over the phone, you want to listen, right? And there's no more to it on that one. You just want to listen. You really want to listen and find out what the patient's goals are, what they want to accomplish on this medical tourism trip, and make sure that you can provide that service. And once they tell you what that is and you find out you can provide that service, then you want to articulate it in a manner that clearly communicates what you can provide them and how you can solve their problem on this medical tourism trip. Now, this next point is geared towards medical tourism facilitators, and it is finding out what medical condition the patient has and what illness is affecting the patient. Because as a facilitator, you're mainly focusing on coordinating the trip, making sure everything's organized, but you don't want to forget to ask at the beginning what medical condition the patient has. This helps you position yourself as a medical tourism facilitator to discuss specific things. Now, some patients are just going for cosmetic procedures, but also there's other patients who have more serious conditions and more serious ailments and more serious things that are life-threatening and terminal illnesses. So you really need to know what medical condition this patient is traveling for, because it's really going to help you position yourself on this trip, because there might be certain things that you might need to put in place for this specific type of patient. Now, the fourth point I want to go over with you guys is finding out the time frame this patient wants to get this medical procedure done and when they're looking to travel for this medical procedure. Now, this is important for you because it really lets you know, should I go ahead and spend a lot of time on this patient and really put everything in order for him to travel because it's urgent, or is it someone who's just going through the research phase? Maybe I should just help them over the telephone, stash their paperwork away, and then follow up with them at a different time in the future and help them at a later date. But this really is important, and you want to get this out of the way as soon as possible when you're speaking to someone so you know exactly how to use your time in the wisest way possible. Now, the fifth point I want to go over with you guys is after you found out, what medical procedure that they're traveling for, you listened to them, you found out exactly what they're looking to accomplish on this medical tourism trip, and you found out the time frame they're looking to travel in. The next thing you want to do is let them know how you can solve their problem and let them know a little bit about your company. So that goes without saying. I guess the only thing I would really add on to that is that you guys really don't want to bombard them with too much information about your company, because nobody knows your company like you know your company. And so you kind of want to keep that to a limit, but you really want to express to them how your company can benefit them and make sure that they're a right match for your company and you're the right match for them. And then the last point I will go with you guys is making sure you guys get the best contact information for this patient. And that means more than one telephone number, making sure you get the best email address for this person, just so they can send you their medical information. When I say medical information, I mean their diagnostic report, their medical records, just so you can make sure that they're a good candidate for this medical procedure that they want done. And then after you get that information, then you can provide them an estimate after that, but I wouldn't provide them an estimate before you get all the necessary documentation that you need for this patient. After you get this information, then obviously you want to reach out to your network of doctors, set up a telephone call with the patient and with the physician. Hey guys, thanks for joining the video today. If you're looking to expand your medical tourism business by joining our membership program, reach out to us. We do want to have a conversation with you, see how we can work with you and bring your business to a different level. But again, thanks for joining today.